Hi, welcome to part two in my super sophisticated video series on why you should read music. Yes, I'm recording it on my MacBook with iMovie using only the camera. Yeah, this looks really nice, right? Let me know in your comments. Uh, on my series of why you should read music and why it's a good idea. And my last point is fiscal responsibility. It expands the number of gigs you can have. I'm not going to say that reading music is a be all end all of being a great musician, but at the very least, it's another tool in your toolbox that you can use to net you more gigs. As a freelancer, as a gigging basis, especially if you want to break into like the studio scene or anybody who's trying to play in live performances like the pits of concerts, live stage shows, it's really important that you can read a chart and get by. So, money, basically. If you want to make a living at this, which I've tried to do over my life, it's only helpful to learn to read. I'm going to end with a story. My final point, my final argument on reading. When I was 15 years old, I was kind of a little badass bass player. I had the attitude and everything. Like I was playing all this chops heavy stuff, and I wanted to play bass in the high school jazz band. I joined marching band, played percussion, learned how to read rhythm, which was actually was really important. But I didn't know how to read on the staff at all. So I asked a friend who was a clarinet player about reading music because I didn't know how to read. And so he said, "Oh yeah, it's easy. It's lines are every good boy does fine." I was like, oh, "Okay, I can do that. Every good boy does fine." And the spaces are FACE, FACE. And I was like, "Okay, that's easy. I'll be able to get by." So I got my bass. I'm on my first day. Basically, kind of auditioning, semi. I'm in because the band director knows me. And I look at my first piece of music right in front of me. This is a very poor illustration of it, but I see this symbol right here, which I didn't know what this was. A flat, which I kind of didn't know. Well, I mean, I knew what a flat was, but I was like, where do I use that? And then I see this little thing, which I read as a G. Little did I know, there's a bass clef that's separate from treble clef. So the band kicks in. Director counts off a one, two, three, four. I'm on my G. Guess where the rest of the band is? Reading music on a B flat or B flat 7 chord. I forget now. And so I'm like, oh crap. Everything I've been led to believe is a lie. Everybody's looking at me, right? And I'm like, oh, no, that's not right. And then maybe on the repeat, I was like, okay, this sounds right. It's a B flat. And then I learned how to adjust all the notes from that point. The first note I ever really learned how to read on on the bass clef was B flat. And eventually, I mean, by my senior year, I was reading pretty well, but that was incredibly embarrassing, especially since I thought I was a badass. So it's my job as a music educator and a music teacher for my bass students to have them avoid a situation like that because maybe you want to be a great player. Maybe you want to be even like the best in town or the best at your high school. But you need to kind of take in what being a total musician is, and that's having a wide variety of things that you can do. And that's what people really look for on gigs. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope it at least started some thoughts and debates. If you are a hardline, like I'm not going to read music, like one of those guys, I'm not going to convince you otherwise. Like, go ahead and live your life. But if you're on the fence, hopefully this kind of helps sway your opinion. Where do you learn to read? There's lots of really good online resources like musictheory.net, and that has a good reading exercises for treble clef and bass clef. And I really recommend the Hal Leonard series of bass. and they're all written by Ed Friedland, who's one of my favorite bass authors. And by the time you're done with the 3 book series, you are pretty much reading pretty well up into about the 7th position, and you can, after that book series, you can handle this Standing in the Shadows of Motown, any kind of classical or Bach books. You can open up a cello book or a trombone book and start playing it. And I think that's kind of a neat concept, personally. So thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Subscribe if you like, and have a good one. Thanks.